Welcome back. Since you've been gone, all the spiders got larger and are now daddy long legs. If you know what I mean. It is natural to feel aroused with your fear. Hashtag spookisode, hashtag sexpisode. Now let's gothen up the scene even more. One of my childhood idols is here to talk about Halloween and promote his holiday special to make all new baby goths. Everyone please welcome Charlie Brown's The Great Pumpkin!
Hello, thank you for having me on. I'm amazed that this network allows a woman to speak publicly.
Thank you for coming. Ever since I saw It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, I knew you were real. You were that force that caused fear in children. I'm so honored to be in your presence. Nightmares really do come true.
Actually, about the Halloween special,
It was an instant classic. Everyone in the world loves that story. And
the Halloween special is revisionist history. I am the golden calf of autumn, worshipped by children in this dimension and the next. There is no Santa Claus. He's a mascot of the highest of the hidden elite, promoting socialist propaganda. Giving out presents for free? I demand fear. I'd love to see that jolly old chubbo go 3 rounds in the ring with me. He can't even fly without his reindeer. I see you, Claus, and the world sees you for what you really are, you rosy-cheeked, immortal pedophile. May God have mercy on your eternal soul when the night falls on your pathetic existence.
I don't understand. What do you mean by revisionist history? The Halloween special was about Charlie Brown and his friends trick-or-treating while Linus waited for you in the pumpkin patch.
Exactly. Those kids weren't kids. They weren't trick-or-treating, and they weren't non-believers. The special is about the triumphs of my fellow clan's pumpkins and their crusade to expunge the non-believers and the subordinate races from the neighborhood.
Whoa, wait. You're literally a pumpkin, the great pumpkin. Where's this race stuff coming from?
Actually, while we're on the subject, my name isn't even Great Pumpkin. That was also a revisionist overwrite by the snowflake cartoonist. It's Grand Wizard Pumpkin. We used to ride through neighborhoods, leaving behind the carnage of disfigured jack-o'-lanterns and burned scarecrows in our wake. Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy may have had the foundations for a cinematic universe centered around Tim Allen. But I have no funding, no packs, just pumpkins. I'm basically the Beto O'Rourke of holiday figures.
I wouldn't exactly say that, since Beto isn't a race. Wait, why am I arguing with a pumpkin?
Oh, I'm just a pumpkin to you. Do you understand how racist and discriminatory that is? I didn't ask to be born this species of gourd. It is my singular duty to eradicate the enemies of Halloween and restore the holiday to its former glory.
He's out of his gourd.
It's time to make Halloween dangerous again. Let's remind the inferior races where they belong and restore the proper hierarchy.
Okay, that's enough. You can't just come on my show and rant about inferior races and proper hierarchy. Everyone is still human, mostly. And Halloween reminds us that even though we may dress up as superheroes or princesses or the slutty Mucinex booger, at the end of the day, we're all human, mostly.
Human? I was talking about gourds.
What?
Gourds! Pumpkins, squash, melons, cucumbers. You thought this whole time that I was talking about humans? No, I mean the superiority of the pumpkin race over the squash. We have yet to de-seed squash as we have done with the cucumber and the melon. Therefore, squash still poses a threat to our peaceful, superior society.
Oh. Wait, that's still not okay. I mean...
Oh, so suddenly you're an expert on gourd culture?
Look, I may not be an expert on your culture, but I'm an expert on what it means to be mostly human. You gourds aren't so different from one another. You should focus on what makes you the same, because you all have shiny, waxy exteriors and soft, fleshy insides. And most of you taste very good in drinks.
Wow. Maybe you're right. I mean, we're both full of that gross, stringy stuff and seeds that don't really do anything. Like, what's even the point? Why should we be treating each other any Wait, why am I taking advice from a woman? Huh.
I'm only mostly woman. Grand Wizard Pumpkin, thank you so much for coming on our show, and hopefully we'll see you next year. Hey, Ethan, don't ever invite him again. Thanks. Alrighty. As our final story of the night, we want to give all of you Halloween lovers one more special treat. This is for all my witches, bitches, and everything in between. This is for all of those that have successfully transitioned into werewolves, but still choose to identify as Bob the Vampire. This is for all of you who fear some of what the night might bring, like being deemed as basic because of your bunny outfit your friend Stephanie lent you, or being exposed as the murderer you are. These custom tips are just for you. Tip number 1. If you're leaving a frat party and you're wearing your good heels you bought from Ross Dress for Less, when suddenly you look back and a headless horseman is following you down an empty street, try giving him a little head. It will save you the trouble of ruining your clearance shoes. You'll likely not have your body in 2 separate pieces, and it's just the polite thing to do. Tip number 2. Looking for a near-death experience by ingesting downers throughout your night as a form of relaxing in stressful situations, or because Mother Mary paid a little too much attention to little Sally Rogers? Try pre-gaming with adrenaline. That way, when the time comes that you begin to see that there is nothing but an empty void on the other side after 16 shots of pumpkin spice fireball, you'll wake up in the morning and you won't have a hangover. You'll probably feel the near-death experience, though. Just a thought. Tip number 3. If you're in the bar and turn for a second, only to turn back to see a man inserting a sleeping pill into your drink, but he didn't notice you noticed, try giving the drink to your ugly friend, Brenda. Brenda will now be your best scapegoat. Once Brenda's clearly inhibited, suddenly you'll have a reason to leave the club. If that doesn't work, try Plan B. Try saying you have herpes. Plan C, try saying you're a feminist. Weak men lose interest next to powerful women like me. Tip number 4, if you're out and about and suddenly get a call from a number you don't know, you'll want to answer it. It'll likely be a man named Jameson who's holding your family hostage. He's going to ask you to go to a secured location with a dozen bottles of high-end vodka. You'll want to go to the store, buy the vodka, go to your home, empty all of the high-end vodka into your sink, then fill up the bottles with water sourced from the city of Austin. All of the silt in the water right now will give him cholera. He'll die of diarrhea in 2 to 3 days. And you'll receive your family again to continue ignoring until Thanksgiving. Finally, tip number 5. You see a lonely little girl at the side of the street at 3 a.m., obviously late to all of the festivities. In order to survive a trip to Guilttown, hand her one of Gillette's new razor candy apples. When she shows up the following week with a mouthful of canker sores from the razor cuts, she will be the coolest kid on campus, and you'll be the horrible person she will hold in her heart for the rest of her life until she is 60 and forgets due to stage 4 Alzheimer's. Well, that's all my tips and tricks to surviving this upcoming Halloween. Now you'll be ready for any situation that may arise during your night to truly be you. However, the biggest tip I can give you this Halloween season is the tip. I hope you enjoyed our #Spookisode. And if you aren't scared of the future enough, let me remind you that Guy Fieri is always watching. #Spookisode. To tune in next week, same time, same place, different day, different host, and technically it's a different time because it's a different week. My name is Danny Phantom, and I'll see you before you see me.